And I'm no good at ad-libbing, but we do appreciate you, Dr. Larry. I've been in and around the schools for the better part of 45 years, and it's probably 8 of the most steadiest years we've had. And I know you came in during some challenging times, and I think you did a great job, sincerely, and we do really appreciate you. So, thank you for But I am here tonight because I believe that recent actions of the district as a whole is causing the district reserve to fall below the board policy minimum. It's causing our unit to be denied a raise, which would help our members keep pace with inflation, and threatens layoffs to our group. Perhaps the most important reason I applied to and came to work for the district was to work in a business where customers, our students, employees, and the district would share equally in the deeds and rewards of our purpose. Our primary focus is not making money, but rather educating our kids. We are all aware of our current economic situation. A projected $750,000 shortfall caused by declines in property tax revenue increases and continued spending growth, and our reserve declining to below the board policy minimum. We have a $70 million budget with perhaps hundreds of expense lines. Employee salaries and benefits is by far the largest umbrella. When I think of shared deeds and rewards, one line does jump out at me: the retirement incentive given to the certificated unit last year. Now, I'm not here to implicate the teaching unit. There's nothing wrong with asking for a raise or anything else in negotiation. And good for them for getting it. And it was my fault for not getting something similar for my group. But I also have a problem with the district's acceptance of this offer. So let's take a minute to talk about raises. There are a few different types of raises. First, there are cost of living raises, which in general are paid for by increases in revenue. For example, the cost of groceries and housing and healthcare go up nearly every year. So does the value of land. This land value increase leads to higher property tax revenues. Some of this top-line income in organizations like the school district is often passed down to the employees, which helps them pay for the higher cost of milk. In the end, it's kind of a circle, and the real price of milk remains the same. Second, there are step and column increases. These are annual raises we receive as we move through our career. It's a reward to the employee for longevity, and it's a benefit to the employer because it works to retain experienced employees and reduce turnover. These raises are, generally speaking, paid for by retirements and resignations. Again, it's a circle. As everyone gets a small raise each year, a few employees leave the organization and the positions are filled by employees making less than their predecessor. Again, generally speaking, retirements and resignations are what pays for step and column increases. There are a few other types of raises, like when we need to improve compensation to a particular job or group because of market conditions or the scarcity of that profession, or when an employee is simply doing a standout job. Now let's review last year's negotiations. All units received a 1.5% addition to their salary schedule and another $600 to the benefit cap. Then the certificated unit received an additional amount in the form of the retirement incentive clause. This language gave all teachers in the district an additional 0.145% raise incrementally for every teacher that retired last year. By June 30th, 2019, 13 teachers had retired, which amounted to a 1.88% additional raise to all members. By the district's own admission, this clause was not an incentive. Since this raise was retroactive, a retiring teacher would only receive roughly an additional $145 if they chose to retire. For someone making $95,000, I'm guessing that this wouldn't make much of a difference to their decision. Meanwhile, the remaining teachers maintained their regular step and column increase in addition to the 1.88% retirement incentive and the 1.5% that we all received. If you ask me, this sounds like double dipping. If you ask me, this sounds like an opportunity to put some money in the bank at a time when our reserve was in decline. If you ask me, I don't know what the district received in return. If you ask me, this is costing the district $490,000 per year starting July 1st, 2018. If you ask me, $490,000 is a considerable portion of the projected $750,000 shortfall. I've capped it out. Currently, the district projects our reserve will be at 9.42% at the end of the 2021 school year. Had the district simply not accepted the retirement incentive, our reserve would have been at 11.78%. And now you want my team to accept no raise for the 1920 negotiation sessions and possibly accept layoffs? I'm sorry, but if any team in the district needs to keep up with the cost of living, it's our classified members. We make the lease while trying to raise our families in the same place that we work, one of the most expensive places in the country to live. Some are working second jobs at this very moment to make ends meet. Housing, healthcare, and grocery inflation hits this unit the hardest. I think a few other questions should be asked as well. We're a basic aid district. Why are we in this situation? We receive more money per student than 92% of California school districts. And we don't just receive a couple of bucks more, we receive significantly more. You might say we don't get more money when we enroll more students. Well, if we enrolled 100 more students tomorrow, we would still be receiving more revenue per student than 92% of California school districts. Secondly, our primary revenue stream has been coming in over budget. Why has our reserve been going down? Wouldn't this have been the perfect opportunity to raise our reserve? And third, are we throwing money at problems and hopes, but fail to deliver a plan and then follow up on that plan? I can tell you we are. I think everyone in this room is somewhat to blame for our current position. I think it has been easy for all parties to ask for and rubber stamp additions to the expense line because we have been conditioned to wait for the bailout of our property tax revenue overages. We all have to be better than that. In conclusion, I'm asking that you take any layoffs to the classified unit off the table and to reconsider both your salary schedule and benefit cap offers to the ditch diggers of the district who faithfully show up to work every day despite having a comparatively tougher daily battle at home. And two final thoughts. First, going forward, how about having all units in the district in the room at the same time when we negotiate wages and benefits next time? If it's true we want to share in the responsibilities and rewards of education, having everybody in the table is in the best interest of transparency. And finally, a good friend pulled me aside yesterday and gave me some solid advice. That person told me to be careful of what I say tonight, as I can't take it back. And I've probably meandered on both sides of that line tonight. I've done my best to be factual and base my thoughts on those facts. But I'll ask you, if you think I have crossed that boundary, please challenge me on it, be it tonight or any other day. I lay no claim to complete knowledge of the issues here tonight, but I am doing my darndest to figure it out. So I'd be happy to answer any questions or concerns, but otherwise, thanks for your time.